Welcome back and welcome to my January wrap up. I've posted on my blog my January wrap up today, and I kind of had to start doing that early because I was reading so many books. So rather than telling you everything I read in January, I will tell you that I read 24 books, 1 essay and 5 short stories, totaling 30 things in the month of January. That's something every single day, which I kind of didn't even realise was happening. I've just got my reading mojo back. So rather than listing everything here, what I've done is I've put together a top 10 for you. The top 10 things I read in the month of January. And if you want to see everything I read in January, then just click on the link to my blog in the description box below. Or you can look on my Instagram because pretty much everything that I've been reading has been on there as well. So I don't have everything I read because some of them are audiobooks and some of them are ebooks and some of them are library books, but any physical books I do have, I've got here. So first of all, I read both Dash and Lily's Book of Dares and the 12 Days of Dash and Lily. Dash and Lily's Book of Dares was the first thing I read this year. I loved both of them. I loved the setting in New York, and I've got reviews of both of them coming up on my blog soon, so keep your eyes out for those. But I mean, I think the big thing about their story was the whole setting and the fact the adventure took place all over kind of Manhattan and Brooklyn, so that was really cool. Number 2 on my top 10 list is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I just, again, it takes place in New York. Loved the setting. This book takes place over one day and the structure of it is just fantastic, and I sat down and I picked it up and I couldn't put it down again until it was finished. Just a great book. Third thing, something I do actually have, is The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson. I've done a book talk on this, which I haven't posted yet, but I'm planning on posting next week. Such a good book. If you want to know more about that, then just look out for my book talk or my review on my blog. Next on the list is Buffering by Hannah Hart. This one again was a library book, so I had to take it back to the library. I wasn't expecting the kind of book that it is. I wasn't expecting somebody who's kind of so big in the YouTube community and the YouTube world to be so brutally honest about her past and kind of what's made her who she is today. And I loved the honesty in the book. Again, it was one of those that I picked up and then I couldn't kind of put it down until I'd finished it. I stayed up really late to finish it, and yeah, it was just such a compelling read. And if you're looking for a really honest read, then definitely pick that one up. Next on my little gold list here is the short stories that I read. I finished off Katie Lovell's Meet Cute series. So we've got things like The Boy in the Bakery, The Boy Under the Mistletoe, The Boy in the Bridesmaid, The Boy in the Board, The Boy at the Beach, The Boy at the Barbecue. If you have a look on Amazon, they're all on there, and they are perfect kind of 20-minute tea break, lunch break, bedtime reads. Each one stands independent of each other, so you don't have to read them in a series. And I've got a post coming up on my blog about the whole series and why I love them just so much. But they are definitely on my list of top 10 things I've read this month. Then we've got another book that I kind of read all at once. I have the physical book, but I actually ended up listening to this on audiobook, just because I downloaded it from the library and I really wanted to read it, and ended up taking a very long bath while I finished it off. Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. Talked about this one in my Feminist Reads video, which I posted yesterday. Such a kind of unexpectedly good book. I expected it to be a good read. I love, people who talk openly about their own feminism and what it means to them, but I mean, I didn't expect kind of chapters discussing Scrabble and the Hunger Games and her work as an academic, and I'm hopefully going to meet her at the end of February, so I'm really excited about that. Then next on my list, I've put Mad Girl by Bryony Gordon. I read this as part of the About Books readathon, and it's her talking so openly about her struggle with mental illness, various forms of mental illness, and how it affected her when she got pregnant and had a baby, and how it affected her relationship with her family and her fiance and husband. And again, it was a massively honest read. I'm still digesting it. I haven't put a review up of this one yet because I'm still kind of taking it all in. It was quite short for a kind of memoir, but definitely an important book, and something I really enjoyed reading this month. I don't know why I put it off for so long. Then the next book I've got is one that I've just recently finished, and that was 7 Ways We Lie by Riley Redgate. This was a slow burn. The first kind of 100 pages, I was a bit like, it's kind of tough going. The first kind of 100 pages, I picked it up, I put it down, I picked it up, I put it down. Once I got past that initial 100-page hurdle, I picked it up and didn't put it down till it was finished because it was so compelling. This has a diverse group of 7 people that are all kind of intertwined in different ways. They're not necessarily friends at the beginning or the end of the book, but they are intertwined, and each of them is so different, and each of them brings something different to the story. I haven't reviewed this one yet, but I think I'm going to do a book talk on it just because it was that slow burn and the characters were just so interesting. Okay, nearly there. Last 2 books, and I have physical copies of both of these. Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick. Read a few celebrity memoirs this month, and this was definitely one of my favourites. I listened to it on audiobook, but I've got this one for the pictures and for the gorgeous end papers. I talked about this. I did this in a book haul, and it was lovely having Anna talk to me and talk about her sort of theatre experience as much as her film experience. And obviously, since reading this, I've wanted to watch all of her films, so I'm working my way through those at the moment, which is quite cool. And finally, again, one that I just finished on Saturday, which is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. I listened to this on Playaway from the library, which is why it looks like this. Again, this was a book full of diverse characters. I loved Simon as a character. I found him so easy to relate to, and it just ended up being this beautiful love story that I didn't expect it to be. And yeah, so I was so impressed by this one. I can see why people have been raving about it in the past. So those are my kind of top 10. I know one of them was a series of 5 short stories and one of them was 2 books, but they count as one thing that I read this month. Out of all the books that I've read this month, as I say, if you want to kind of know a little bit more about everything that I read, I've got a list of everything that I read broken down into physical books, ebooks and audiobooks on the blog, so click on that link and you'll find quite a few of them have already been reviewed on the blog, and the rest of them are coming up. The ones that I've literally just finished, obviously I haven't written reviews for yet, but they are going to be up soon. So apologies for the long video, but coming up next, I'll have my February TBR, so I'll see you then. Bye.